And welcome back, everyone, to Speed Round Who Would Win 31. In that order, but not. So, I actually added a couple because when I was going through the extra Who Wins I've been adding on, I realized very quickly, that's got to be a Speed Round once. It just doesn't make sense. And then, good segue, Beerus versus Giorno Giovanni. King Shao gave that one, I believe. And while Gold Requiem and Gold Requiem Experience is an insanely powerful stand, it is not a multiversal level being. Its power does actually kind of affect the universe a little bit, but Beerus is just a being that's way beyond a power like that. And really, it all comes down to power clashes in some ways. Hexes can just be negated through sheer power. Now, someone might argue, well, he can't see the stand. Only stand users can see the stand. The stand is a psychic entity that is attached to the user that is usually behind them. It stands behind them. But because of that, anyone with extrasensory capability should be able to sense and or see a stand. It's just in that universe, a stand user is the only one who can see another stand. So Beerus, being a god, a deity, ends up having the power to pretty much destroy his own universe without much effort, to be honest. Who can see and destroy spirits, should not have any real difficulty A, seeing the stand, and B, Hakkaiing the stand if he wanted to, or just interacting with it. Now, mind you, he a little dubious of what Gold Requiem would be. Gold Requiem does have light speed level feats, but Beerus moves, I can't even calculate how many times faster than light. So it really would be Beerus just dodge, not going to let you hit me, not going to let you hit me. The only way Beerus could even be thrown off by the stand is if he just decides to let it touch him, just to prove a point, and then gets caught off guard by him being touched. And then maybe it speeds up his perception of time, all that, and screws around with him for a little bit. But that still lends the issue of Gold Requiem doesn't really have anything to actually kill Beerus with. And Beerus's power, again, is so large that even if he does affect him, it's probably not going to be the same extent as any other deity. Even Gold Requiem Experience, which reduces something back to 0, again, could just be overpowered by a powerful enough force, in theory. Beerus literally just kind of negates things that don't logically make sense. He even is not affected by Toon Force. That's how powerful Beerus is. So, well, this one I spent the most time on, or among the most time on, I'd say Beerus probably clears that fight 99 times out of 100, with maybe one random scenario where Gold Requiem gets in a random win. And then another one that was supposed to actually be on Sunday, but I looked at it and went, no, this will be speed round as well. Molly Joy asked the question, who wins in a fight? The purple guy from Five Nights at Freddy's, William Afton, versus the Nexo Knight Berserker. And one is a serial killer, the other is a Berserker Knight. Scale them obviously up to a human, scale them at the same level, because in their world they're the same size. It's the Nexo Knight. He literally is he's literally a warrior berserker in armor. So it's Nexo Knight. Then coming to us from Blue Hulk, who wins in a fight? Omni-Man versus Goku. Now look, we've seen the death battle. We know he beat Bardock in a fight, but Bardock is relatively low man on the totem pole for. I mean, he was strong for the time, but even if you give him Super Saiyan, he's pretty weak, even compared to, I mean, honestly, even compared to someone like Krillin as Krillin got later in the series. Certainly much weaker than Piccolo or whatever. Yeah, Goku is literally a deity at this point. Like, he has God Ki, he is a Super Saiyan God, he has Ultra Instinct, he is a universe to multiversal, he's a high universal, multiversal level threat and beyond. Like, Omni-Man, as strong as he is not that strong. Like, he wouldn't be able to scale to Goku. Despite the fact his smart atoms to kind of increase his strength, he would not be able to scale to Goku. He would not be able to bridge that gap. He just couldn't. So Goku would decimate Omni-Man. Decimate him. Then, coming to us from, let's see here now, the Penny Plunder DC, or Penny Plunderer DC, Nexo Knight Flamma versus Cassandra Nova from the Deadpool Wolverine movie. Cassandra Nova literally just pulled someone's skin off and just let them fall to pieces in an instant with her psychic abilities. That's not something this guy can guard against. So yeah, no, she tear this guy apart. So yeah, that's Cassandra Nova. Then coming to us from, let's see here now, Ediza or Edizo? Homelander versus the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers. And again, this is similar to Goku versus Omni-Man. The Creeper is powerful. And against other supernatural threats we put him up against, he stands a far better shot. But Homelander is just... the only thing they have available to take Homelander down if they really have to is a nuke, and even that's not a guarantee. Granted, Homelander, when you take him out of his world and throw him into like DC or Marvel, he's a very powerful individual, but he would get creamed by other individuals. But you throw him into a world where, you don't have these planet-busting entities, as far as you know. Creeper's just a kind of a demonic serial killer. And, yeah, Homelander would beat his ass. Like, the Creeper, as far as I know, does not have anything. Even the magically imbued stuff, as far as I know, wouldn't hurt Homelander, because we don't have magic in the boys' world. So that goes to Homelander, personally. Then coming to us from, let's see here, Mr. Mr. Freddy Fazbear. Discord versus Cartoon Cat. Well, Cartoon Cat is kind of a creepy, Trevor Henderson creation, creepy monster creature. Discord literally is a being who affects the entirety of its universe, creation, multiverse, and so on. So that's... The Cartoon Cat, as far as we know, does not have that level of power. Even if he did, he has no means... even if he does, he's never truly demonstrated it. And he's not really... We haven't seen anything that suggests he can actually kill Discord. That's the big thing. We have never seen anything that actually suggests he can kill Discord. And Discord really can't even die. Even if you do kill him, he lives on a spirit. Even if you kill a spirit, because he's the embodiment of chaos, you can't actually kill him so long as chaos exists. He'll eventually reform. So I don't even think the Cartoon Cat would beat Discord in the fight. Discord's powers of reality warping far supersede his. So there's that. Then coming to us from Echo? Forgive me for my writing. Batman versus Ghostface. It does not matter which version of Ghostface. Ghostface is at best a somewhat competent serial killer. Yeah, he killed people. What I mean is he's not like slow like Leatherface, but he's not a super genius. Then it's been so many different people as Ghostface. A, Batman probably could figure it out without too much difficulty. He is the world's greatest detective. And B, Ghostface would get their ass kicked. Ass kicked by Batman. You kidding me? Batman takes on individuals 10 times tougher than this guy on a near day-to-day basis. Ghostface gets their teeth kicked in every version. So then we got from Devin Paul, Stitch versus Gremlins. Who wins? Don't get him wet. Which is probably part of the reason. Yeah, Stitch clears this fight. Whereas Gremlins cannot get wet. They will either, like Mogwai can't get wet, they will spawn Gremlins. But Gremlins can't get wet, they will actually dissolve. If I remember correctly. No. They can get wet. You still get them wet, they multiply. But sunlight kills them, whereas Stitch is not the case. You can get him wet. His body's just so dense he can't swim, and he sinks like a stone. So, yeah, otherwise, Stitch is infinitely smarter, more durable, can take Plasma Blast, for God's sake. No, he'd rip apart a Gremlin in no time whatsoever. So yeah, Stitch takes that fight. Then from Joshua Merriweather, we got Gohan versus Invincible. This is the same thing to Homelander and Goku. Gohan is a Universe Plus level individual, and if you get to the end of Dragon Ball Super Hero, where he's activated Beast Gohan for the first time, he's stated to allegedly be stronger than Goku and Vegeta, who are already multiversal-esque individuals. So that puts him on the multiversal level here, too. Invincible, Mark Grayson, is just not that strong. So even if I scaled him down, even Teen Gohan can, without too much difficulty, blow up a planet. Whereas even the strongest Viltrumites need help just to ram a planet and blow it up with their sheer body. Ultramites do not have Ki Blast, whereas Teen Gohan alone could blow up a planet. So, yeah, it's Gohan, definitely. Then from, who do we got here? Sarah? We have what wins in a fight? A Star Destroyer, or the starship, the USS Enterprise. Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise. Make it so. Make it so. But yeah, so this conversation I actually distinctly remember having with friends of mine way back in the day. One of my buddies says, "Oh, it's the Enterprise that wins because it's a named ship." So is the Millennium Falcon. I wouldn't take that in a fight against the Star Destroyer. Like, it's now the Enterprise is deceptive, and it's because it's just a model usually, CGI later, all that. But it is actually quite a large ship because it holds like entire populations of people. Like, people live their lives on the Enterprise. But I can already tell you right now, I go to Star Destroyer in that fight. One, the Star Destroyer is still just much larger. Like, at minimum, it's about twice the size of the Enterprise, roughly speaking. And that's not even bringing up a Super Star Destroyer. A Super Star Destroyer dwarfs both of these things. But if we're just going by the Star Destroyer, the big difference here is what they're built for. The Starship Enterprise, while it is armed, and armed fairly well, it's not a ship designed for combat. It's an exploration vessel. Star Destroyers are designed to destroy things. They are also armed to the teeth, lasers, missiles, you name it, cannons, they have them. And yeah, they are bulky. They also have shields, just like the Enterprise does. So, I mean, I'd personally take a Star Destroyer over the Enterprise, personally. I'll say this, the Star Destroyer, the Enterprise is probably a bit more maneuverable, but that doesn't mean much if you can't actually destroy the damn ship. So I'd go with the Star Destroyer personally. Then we got from okay, oh god, U-Box or something? I can't remember what the name of it is. I did not write that down, Sally, or very well. I apologize for this. The game version of the Avengers versus the game version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I don't recall if Adam Warlock actually joined the Guardians of the Galaxy, because if he did, that would definitely help them in a fight, because otherwise you're still, even if you just take this roster we have here, you take Cap, Guardians can handle, Kamala, Black Widow, Hawkeye, they can handle. Hawkeye's not on there, but still, you still got to deal with Iron Man, who no one except for maybe Rocket could handle, and you still got to then deal with Hulk and Thor. No one except for Rocket maybe could handle those guys. And even then, I don't think he could handle Thor or Hulk personally he'd have to specifically in the moment build a weapon to deal with them. And I don't see that happening. So no, I would definitely go with the Avengers. Then from Pepito, Pepito, I gotta really remember to write those better. Ty Lee versus Eno. I almost did make this an actual video. One's a trained ninja, one's an acrobat, but she's also a skilled martial artist. And she's capable of literally pressure point attacks that can shut down your chakra. So, and your use of it, which means she essentially knows Gentle Fist, more or less. Now, mind you, it is chakra more in the actual, like, traditional sense of the word chakra, your chakras, all that, versus the chakra network. But the principles are still the same. She can still basically disarm Eno, literally, like, her arms go flat. Without her arms, she can't use any of her jutsu. Now, Eno's mind transfer jutsu could snag Ty Lee if she's not careful, but Ty Lee is extremely flexible and extremely acrobatic. So it is debatable who really would win there. But I think it comes down to the fact that this fight would at some point come down to hand-to-hand. And Eno, the only hand-to-hand combat we ever saw with Eno is when she fought Sakura, and they were basically even. And neither of them were all that impressive. I mean, they could throw hands for, then, but compared to like a Neji or Rock Lee or even Naruto or Sasuke, no, they were not the best. Now, I'm sure she's improved, but Ty Lee's expertise is in hand-to-hand combat, and all she's got to do is tag her, and bye, parts go limp. And unfortunately, if Eno loses an arm, she's not going to be able to make it. As far as we know, she's not going to be able to make that hand signs for either of the jutsu. I'd personally take Ty Lee, as weird as it may be. Then coming to us from Blitzo, we've got Joker versus Chucky. This one for me is kind of easy. It's Joker 9 times out of 10. He's gonna find him Chucky amusing a little bit and then just blow his head off, shoot him. Chucky can get up, and then Joker's like, oh well, then try this, and just throws him into a thing of acid and just melts him. Now, the one thing I could see going in Chucky's favor is the arrogance of the Joker, because the Joker is, very confident, arrogant. Wouldn't see him as a huge threat. He might just like decapitate Chucky, whatever. If Chucky is able to maybe say try to impart his soul into the Joker, that could work. But the Joker is so chaotic in nature and just who he is that might be a suicide run, basically. Like, all right, let's see what's going on. What the hell is this place? Welcome to my mind, little boy. Little doll, now it's time for me to play. And then just messes up Chucky from inside him. So yeah, I'd go Joker in that fight. Then coming to us from Rick Smith, another one I might take a little bit longer on. The Akatsuki versus Thanos. Look, Thanos is scales to individuals like Odin, the All-Father. He scales to individuals like Thor. He's just overly powerful, or beyond Thor, honestly. Even the Hulk isn't a guaranteed win against it. Like, he is someone who just straight on, most of the heroes don't have a straight win against. He's strong enough to lift trillions of tons, survive a dip in a black hole, manipulate cosmic energy on a whim. He's a scientific genius. He can open portals. He's kind of broken in many ways. So the question is, it's not whether or not the Akatsuki can win. Is there any Akatsuki members that even stand a legit shot against him? Right out the gate, Deidara's a no. Even his C4, I think it is, the little microscopic bombs, I don't see those actually doing much. Thanos' skin is so thick, his body's so thick that I don't think that level of explosion, quite frankly, works. And honestly, Thanos has survived and come back for more than that. And maybe he can just figure out and start to defuse the bomb with energy. Sasori is not going to be able to do anything. Like, Thanos is immune. No, he's not immune to poison, but I don't think the poison Sasori has, or it's just an earth-based poison. Plus, he'd have to pierce Thanos' skin to begin with. That's the other problem. They would have to be able to just straight out injure him to begin with. And I don't think anything Sasori has would be able to do much. Zetsu's a no-go. Neither Zetsu's version of the Zetsu fight. Hedon only has his ritual, which if he can't injure Thanos, it's kind of a moot point. Kakuzu is durable, but he's not even planetary in terms of his power or his durability. Thanos could just tear him in half. Kisame's Samahara is impressive, but I don't know if it can steal maybe some energy, but stealing chakra is what it does. I don't know if it steals cosmic energy. I doubt it can. Which means Kisame's probably going to have to turn tails and run. And Konan's just made of paper. She's going to get wrecked by him. Your three best bets against him are Itachi, Obito, and Nagato. Pain. Itachi does have Tsukuyomi, which means he could, and Thanos has been put into illusions before, but he's also broken out of them before. And because he's kind of a masochist, I don't think torturing him is going to work. So Tsukuyomi is not going to work. Amaterasu, however, is a legit possible win con here. Because of just how it functions, it burns hotter than the sun. And Thanos has taken dips in things like suns and black holes before. It's been injured, but fine. If it just keeps burning, I don't know if it's going to complete... Because Thanos can regen, too. He does have healing factor. I think he's just going to kind of be perpetually burned until he basically just gets the flame off. But Amaterasu might be effective. At least in hurting him. And that leaves Susanoo, which is, a giant chakra mech. The Yatamir repels all elemental attacks, but it's, again, cosmic energy and physical strength. The only thing, honestly, the only move I can see being a legit effective win con would be the Tuska Blade. That would be it. And you'd still have to hit Thanos with that thing. It's not impossible, but it's a long shot. Obito, on the other hand, is difficult because if we're just using Akatsuki Obito, which we're talking about the Akatsuki, so I would go with Akatsuki Obito. Yes, he can Kamui him into the Kamui world. Sure, great, wonderful. Thanos can just find a way out of there. He's smart enough. I believe he does know how to open portals if he needs to. He knows mysticism. So usually it's more with tech, but as far as we know, he does know magic and should be able to open a portal on his own. So he can just get out of the Kamui dimension. It'd be about hurting Obito himself. Like, actually injuring the man. Could he do it? He'd have to, A, figure it out, but B, the one thing that never gets brought up is that Thanos does have the ability to use telepathy. He could just enter the minds of these guys. And none of these guys have telepathic immunity as far as we know. So, I mean, he could probably just figure out the weaknesses of a lot of these guys and Obito as well. So the minute like he tries to grab him for like pulling back in the Kamui dimension, he just counterattacks with an attack and just boom, blasts him dead. Or at least mortally wounds him. Now, Nagato's pains paths are interesting because Nagato is not the main. Nagato's the main body, but these guys don't have a conscious or will of their own. He couldn't read their minds because they don't have wills of their own. They literally are just, limbs, if you will. And each one possesses distinct ability. The Azura path is screwed. The Naraka path is screwed. The Animal path is screwed. That leaves us with the Preta path. Is also screwed because it's going to try to absorb chakra and it's just not going to work. Which leaves you with the human path, which hypothetically, if it could grab Thanos and take his soul out, it might work. But then but obviously the Deva path's the real one you'd have to bring up. And honestly, gravitational forces are impressive, but this guy literally just tanked several blasts from Black Bolt. Full power to the face with nothing more than a little nosebleed. I think he can resist the gravitational push and pull of the Deva path. And even Chibaku Tensei, he can probably just blast himself out of there. So even though there's minor win cons here for the Akatsuki, and I mean minor, it's too few to really call it a fair win. Thanos takes that in the majority of them. Then we're in our final 6, I believe. Then from Smolder and Oculus of the Young 6, we got Natsu versus Cell. Pretty simple. Cell could blow up the planet pretty easy if he wanted to. He is a confirmed solar system buster, actually. And Natsu, as far as I know, just is not that powerful. So that'd be Cell. Then from, who we got here next? Epidillo. Magneto versus Megatron. Megatron's only real move here is the is it anti-gravity? Antimatter. The antimatter. But otherwise, literally Magneto can, and that's assuming he gets the ability to catch Magneto off guard with it. Otherwise, it's just turn you into a tin can. Moving on. That's it. That's all it is. So yeah, Magneto's taking that the bulk of the time easy. Then we got from the hilarious Prince Chocolate or Choco, one of the two. Godzilla versus Elsa. Godzilla would win 1,000%. Elsa's powerful, but she can't beat a kaiju. We've never seen her fight something like Godzilla. Her ice is capable of stopping a giant flood of water. Great, but even if it's magical, like Godzilla's huge compared to, and can just melt the ice off. So she's kind of up shit's creek without a paddle in this fight. Now, then from forgive me again for butchering the name. Red Skull versus Black Mask, pretty simple. Black Mask is really just a gangster, whereas Red Skull is a super soldier in his own right and a Nazi criminal genius. Red Skull takes that fight. Then from VHS Sans, we got Freddy Krueger versus Lobo. There's nothing there's nothing Freddy can do against the main man. Obviously, giving Freddy all the advantages you can means he's in the dream world, but even if he starts to just injure Lobo just regenerates. So there's nothing he can do to Lobo that would really screw him up. And Lobo would probably just eventually pull him out of the dream and beat the living crap out of him. So, yeah, no, that goes to Lobo. And finally, our last one comes to us from Art MZ, who wins in a fight, Art the Clown or Batman. And I don't want to hear the whole bull. Art's a demon! Batman can't be because he's a demon. He'll just keep coming back. We're not asking, A, if he can kill Art, which he could. He could blow him up, whatever. Yeah, Art might recover, but Batman also has knowledge of mystic arts. He just doesn't really use them. He's not magical. He's forbidden to use mysticism is more the thing. But he also knows people like John Constantine or whatever. If he beats him, he realizes, oh, he's coming back. I got to call John. John, what's this guy? Oh, he's a demon. Hold on. I got it. There you go. But yeah, otherwise, Art's not anything all that impressive. In fact, Art's a coward. If he starts to lose, he will cower like a little bitch. And yeah, like Art in terms of actual physical confrontation would be nothing for Batman. Like, really nothing. So, Batman gets that win. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed Speed Round 31. Join us at the end of the month for Speed Round 32. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.